I am very excited to be talking to a man who's been in the headlines here recently, and that is LSU's new pitching coach, Jason Kelly, joining Jay Johnson's staff. Coach Kelly, what's up, man? Thank you so much for waking up early with us here on this Friday.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Okay, Coach, so let's just start very simple here. Your career has been all up and down the West Coast, mainly, right? You've been in this game for a while now, and you, like I said, you know all of that part of the country. What does it feel like now to be coming down to Baton Rouge, to South Louisiana, and be wearing the purple and gold?
And it feels unbelievable. It's always, being a West Coast guy and always looking at the SEC as a goal, man, and to get this opportunity, to be provided this opportunity by Coach Johnson is, something my family and I can't even wrap our brains around it just yet. I was, the 90s for me was 10, 11, 12,
Hell yeah, dude.
13 years old watching dog piles and didn't even know what Louisiana was, didn't even know where LSU was, but knowing sometime in my career I wanted to be there. It's just surreal for me at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting, Coach. That actually sounds a lot like how Coach Johnson described his own feelings. Well, and I guess it makes sense. Like, I'm 32. Maybe I think you're around my age, right? So it is a bit generational. They planted those seeds throughout the country a long time ago, and now they're all coming to fruition with guys like you, right? Who have had great success at multiple different stops. How about this? I want to talk to you specifically, professionally, about what last year's experience was like for you, because just reading up and getting background and whatnot, it sounds like from a coaching perspective, this might, especially a pitching coach, right? This might have been one of the most challenging years ever. You lost 3 weekend starters due to injury. You lost a closer due to injury as well, and yet y'all still found a way to make the tournament, to get it done on the mound. What did you learn? What was last year like for you?
It was just full of ups and downs, and losing those guys early in the season, it felt like the end of the year. Like that's what it felt like in that locker room. But to see those kids rally around each other and perform and do it any way possible. And we would lose on Friday night 10-0 because we had to empty the bullpen because we just didn't have enough, and then win Saturday, Sunday to win a series. So it was an incredible experience of just perseverance from our guys, which you don't know that they have until they're put in that situation. So it was up and down. It was a struggle. It didn't end the way we wanted it to. We took criticism. We fought back. So I'm not going to say it was the best coaching job I've ever done, but it was the most interesting coaching job I've ever done, because we had to do anything we could to win games. And it wasn't always pretty, and people didn't like it, but we still won 30-something games and got to a regional and ended up having a decent year. So it was fun at times, but also, I would just look back at it being so proud of those players and the way they responded and just did it any way possible.
Yeah, right. It's easy for it's easy to do it when everything's going well, right? It's what you do when everything hits the fan, and it sounds like that's what you dealt with last year. And look, and maybe some of that experience, right, and what you learn carries over here, because I was just talking about at the beginning of the show, Coach, but when you look at this LSU baseball team right now, we've talked so much about the lineup and adding Barry, these other incredible young talent, and Coach Johnson's obviously really good at developing hitters, and that all looks fantastic. If there is some question marks with this team right now, it's on the mound. And have you had a chance to kind of look at what you'll be inheriting yet, roster-wise?
Yeah, I have. I've got a chance to look at a little bit of video, and some kids have popped by when I was in town to say hello. So the one thing I do know is everyone that I've met is a really high-character kid, and a kid that is excited about the next step and building on what Coach Dunn did here. And you know that there was some struggles on the mound at times, which everybody has, but it's still a super regional team.
Yeah.
A team that fought, a team that battled. And so there's a lot of those characteristics that maybe you can't teach. So now you come in with a new voice, change things just a little bit maybe, and build off what they've done. And I think we're going to get some excitement out of this group. And I also don't think we're done bringing in a couple more arms. The portal's going to be good to us. And now that I'm official, I think there's some energy behind it. And I think we may bring in 1 or 2 more real big pieces for us.
Yeah, and you don't have to comment on this because I don't know the NCAA rules around commenting on that. But for those listening, if you're just joining the show, LSU did just add another transfer. This time it was pitcher Eric Rieselman, who throws 94 to 97, so a little power there. Coach, certainly, look, the one word that has stood out so far here in the Jay Johnson era, which I guess is a funny thing to say at the beginning, but it is what it is, right? It's been this word development. And I was interested when I was reading up on you. It seems like you two, like I think Coach Johnson, he gets a ton of information, right? A ton of data, and then he kind of pares that down and cuts away till he has something that he can transmit to the player. This is a quote that Johnson said about you. He has an advanced ability using new age data and metrics to help our pitchers understand their pitch arsenal and how best to use it. What exactly is Coach Johnson talking about there?
Well, just getting to the next step with the technology part of this, which is some of the TrackMan data, some of the Rapsodo data, that these kids nowadays, they really gravitate towards. It's not just listening to this old fat pitching coach who's got some knowledge. It's some information, right, that they can see, tangible, and they're like, gosh, you know what, this guy might be right because of my true spin, because of my breaking ball spin, my vertical carry, some of these things that they understand that sometimes coaches that have been doing this for a long time don't quite understand and haven't dove into, and I've dove into those things. So it's going to be a great tool for us and for our players to be excited about. But at the end of the day, it's just one tool. It's one piece to help them develop. And Coach Johnson and I come from kind of the same roots. Is we started at a really small places in this thing, and we weren't going to out recruit UCLA, Cal State Fullerton, Long Beach State. So we had to get players that needed to get better. And so you cut your teeth doing that, and it just continues to progress and progress. And that's what I'm most excited about, to not get arms that need velocity or some of these things that I've had to help teach, but get arms that have those things that just need repertoire development, need to learn how to pitch, need to have experience. And I think LSU is going to bring in those type of players, and we're going to combine all those things. And I think we can take that next step on what this last coaching staff has done and continue to push and push and push until hopefully we dogpile at the end of this thing.
Talking new LSU pitching coach Jason Kelly. Coach, what about this? And we've all experienced this, at least as players, a lot of us have. You have it from both sides. But that is like the relationship between coach and player. And I think ultimately what you want out of a coach, or what most people would want, is, okay, can I trust in what my coach is telling me to do, even if it sounds crazy to me, right? Like, even if I'm like, I don't know, but you know what? I trust in him. I'm going to do it. How do you go about developing that trust and developing those relationships?
Well, you know, there's a couple of different ways in coaching that you can be approached or approach, and there's a father figure type situation, there's a friend type situation, and I like to consider myself a little bit in the middle, almost an older brother, where it's fun, you can rely on that person, but when that older brother stands up and says, "Hey, enough," that younger brother listens and is like, "Oh man, I got him going. I better back off a little bit." So you got to come in, especially in a new situation. I'm lucky to have done this a couple of times. Is you got to love them. You got to tell them. You got to make sure they know you care about them. You got to make sure they know you're invested in not just their career here, but their career on, whether that's baseball, whether that's being an accountant, whether that's being a father. Those things that you care about those things. And I think if you look back on my track record and the people that I've coached, hopefully that's one of the main things that they bring up, is just the relationship with me as an open door. They enjoy coming to the ballpark. They love practicing. So that's what I'm going to try and expose them to at the beginning. And once they know that, they can trust you, then I think you can do anything you want with them, and they're going to buy into it. But you've got to get that trust from them right away.
Talking to pitching coach Jason Kelly, of course, D1 Baseball's 2018 Assistant Coach of the Year for the entire country. And let's kind of stick with, or go back to the idea of a new staff here in Baton Rouge at a place like LSU, where you now have, and I thought this was very interesting, even from the entire new staff, right, in y'all's backgrounds. you're coming down to LSU. We can, like locally here, we can almost be a bit elitist in how we think of LSU. Like it's the premier program, the premier fans, all of these things. But what is it like suddenly joining a program that doesn't only have that history, but has the resources, right? And the logo and the kind of cachet that it carries with it. Like, what does that do selling guys or getting them on the recruiting trail?
Well, it's going to change the way that I've had to do it at times because, and Coach Johnson and I have talked about this, the most important thing is to say no because so many kids want to be here. And you've got to really filter through who fits the mold of what you're trying to build. Whereas at some of the smaller places I've been, you got to convince kids to get here.
Yeah.
You got to convince them to come to the Northwest from California. You got to convince them to come to a smaller Big West school at Cal Poly instead of UCLA. So that's going to be different, but you're not even, that's not a problem. That's something that's incredible. We want people to be excited about this. So I feel like if we do a good job of getting the right kids, then that roster can continue to build every year and get better and better and better. Never have that lull of having too many freshmen, too many seniors. But if we can do it the right way, I think we can hopefully build continued success, and roll through this thing. So it is a totally different way of looking at it because of I've only been here for a day or two, and the Twitter and the text messages from kids that are just like, Coach, I'm so excited. I'd love to be part of it. I'd love to be part of it. It's something I have never experienced. And I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to meet these people, these kids that have energy about this program the same way I did as a 10-year-old.
Hell yeah, Coach. I absolutely love it, man. What do these next few months look like for you? Is it like, I know it's kind of crazy. The coaching lifestyle, I can't really imagine just having to pack up and move in the way that you sometimes have to, but what's the future look like?
You know, and I have to, my wife's not going to hear this, but it's all about her now. Like, I'm literally going to fly home today.
Yeah.
I'm going to pack another bag, and then I'm going to fly back here and start recruiting. So I kind of put everything to the side and go to work. But my wife, Tracy, is at home. She's got to sell the house. She's got to change doctors.
Yeah.
She's got to get them in schools here. She's got to buy a house here. She's got to hire movers. She's got to get the house clean. She's got to get the handyman over to fix all these things.
Yeah.
So for me, it's business as usual. It's just a different part of the country. But for her and my kids, it's all about getting out of there, finding a new place here, getting established in this community, getting in school. So to be honest with you, a bunch of things I'm not good at, she's great at. So
yeah,
I'm going to do what I do well, and she's going to do what she does well, is lead our family and take care of them. And I'm blessed to have her, and every coach has got a great wife behind him. And so for me, business as usual, but for our family, it's a little bit crazy, but we made a commitment 15 years ago when we left San Luis Obispo in California that we were going to go for this thing.
Yeah, man.
And we're going to find the best jobs, and we're going to find the place where we can get to Omaha every single year. And if that means moving 20 times, it is what it is. And it's been 3 moves, and they're used to it, but it never is easy.
Ooh, Coach God, I just got some goosebumps right there, man. Thank you so much. As you can tell, this man is motivated. I can't wait, Coach. Welcome to Baton Rouge. Any questions you have, you can always hit us up. Thank you so much for waking up with us this morning, man.
Great, guys. I appreciate being on here and your support, and we're ready to get to work and go Tigers.
Yeah, hell yeah. There we go. I was waiting for it. Nailed it, dude. Nailed it. All right, when we get back, closing out hour 1 here on Off the Bench.